Our Tennessee state standard is to use informal arguments to establish facts about the angle, sum, and exterior angle of triangles, about the angles created when parallel lines are cut by a transversal, and the angle-angle criterion for similarity of triangles. For example, arrange three copies of the same triangle so that the sum of the three angles appears to form a line, and give an argument in terms of transversals why this is so. Your lesson objective that you need to write down: I can identify complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles and find missing measurements. So you'll need to stop the video or pause the video and write that down. All right. We have four types of angles that we're going to look at today. No, take that back. The first four types of angles that we're going to look at, the first one is less than 90 degrees. And that is called an acute angle. And sometimes you can think of it as a acute little angle. Little because it's less than 90 degrees. Exactly 90 degrees is called a right triangle. And it is signified by the square inside the angle. That signifies that it is a right or 90-degree angle. Then we have angles that are between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Those are called obtuse angles. And finally, an angle which is exactly 180 degrees and actually just looks like a line, this is called a straight angle. All right, two angles with the same vertex and a common side are called adjacent angles. So they are side by side, they are adjacent, and they share the common side of OC. So you have angle AOC and angle BOC. Two angles with a sum of measures of 90 degrees are called complementary angles. Now, you will notice that angles 1 and 2 here are together and they actually form a right angle as signified by the square inside the angle. But you need to also understand that angles do not have to be adjacent to be complementary. An angle of 40 degrees and an angle of 50 degrees, because they add up to 90 degrees, those two angles are complementary. Two angles with a sum of measures of 180 degrees are called supplementary. Now, you can see supplementary angles together form a straight angle. Angles 1 and 2 are supplementary, and their measures add up to 180 degrees. But you need to notice angles do not have to be adjacent to be supplementary, because a 110-degree angle plus a 70-degree angle equals 180. Those two angles are supplementary. And finally, vertical angles are opposite angles formed by intersecting lines. So they're straight across from each other. 1 and 2 are vertical angles. 3 and 4 are vertical angles. And vertical angles are equal. All right, so some examples. Determine the measure of the missing angles. All right, so number 1, we know that the total is 90 degrees. So X has to be 90 minus 63. 10 minus 3 is 7, and 8 minus 6 is 2. So 20 degrees is the measurement for angle X. Number 2, because these two angles form a straight angle, we know that a straight angle is 180 degrees. So to find X, we need to subtract 75 degrees. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 7 is 0. And then 1. So 105 degrees equals x. Number 3, we have to find 3 different angles. Well, remember, vertical angles are equal. So y is equal to 73 degrees. But if you will notice, x is supplementary with the 73, so we need to say 180 minus 73, and that would give us 10 minus 3 is 7, 107 degrees, and that would equal x and z. So x equals 107. It's also equal to z, which, because they're vertical angles, so angle z equals 107 degrees. All right. Because x is straight across or vertical to 85 degrees, x is equal to 85 degrees. Let's go ahead and find the measures for the other 2 angles. So 180 minus 85. So 10 minus 5 is 5, and 17 minus 8 is 9. So these angles would be 95 degrees. X and 125 are a straight angle, so we need to subtract 125 from 180. 10 minus 5 is 5, 7 minus 2 is 5, so x would equal 55. And then number 6, we have a right angle, which is 90 degrees, so 90 degrees minus 75 degrees. 10 minus 5 is 5, 8 minus 7 is 1, so 15 degrees would be what x equals. Now, one more thing I want you to add on your notes. To determine the difference, or to try to remember the difference between complementary and supplementary, this is what you write. C comes before S alphabetically. 90 comes before 180 numerically. So C before S in the alphabet, 90 before 180 when counting. So some version of that, you need to write C before S and your reasoning, 90 before 180 and your reasoning. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.